Hey everybody. You may have noticed I haven't played World of Warcraft in a bit. Uh, to be quite honest, I think I'm done with the game. I don't think I have it in me to finish out the 100 hours. So instead this will be the finale. I hate abandoning it partway through, not even 3/4, but I'm not having fun anymore. Like the fact that we have a dungeon coming up, and I thought I'd enjoy the dungeons, but I've actually been dreading doing the dungeon. I know that sounds weird, but it's just the dungeons are so chaotic that it's hard to even know what's going on half the time. I know the more I play them, the more I'll understand, but I just don't want to get to that point, to be honest. There's just so much going on in them. It's hard to keep track. I know as a healer, my main focus is just keep my team alive, but I'd also like to help deal damage. And it's also, like I said, part of that chaoticness. I don't know when I'm in range of healing my people. Everybody seems to kind of be off everywhere. It's just not fun. That being said, I'm not going to fault anyone for enjoying it. There are a few things that could have made the game a lot easier, particularly add-ons. Wanted to try to do it without add-ons, just to see how it went. I've heard add-ons take a while to even figure out, because you just need so many different ones, then you need the plugins for the add-ons, just all that stuff. And like I said, it might have made things easier, but it shouldn't be that way. It should be playable without them. Then there's the fact that outside of dungeons, it doesn't seem like the game really explains a whole lot. Like, I understand it's, for everybody who's been playing forever, everything makes sense. But, Surge Forward, for example, that's the dragon riding is new to Dragonflight. You would have thought they would have explained it better. But even the Surge Upwards, I just happened to figure out on accident from trying to jump with the mount. The Surge Forward, I never figured out. And then touching on dragon riding, I think it was a cool concept, but it was just way too finicky and frustrating for me. Like, if you end up near a tree, you're doomed, and then have to wait for recharges in order to use flying. I didn't find that fun. I would have much preferred to just be able to, shapeshift to my flight form and get from point A to point B. Even if it was a bit slower, that's one good thing for the dragon riding is you can get places pretty quick. But that's only if, you have a clear takeoff and a clear landing. And if you're going down, if you're going upwards, good luck. The professions I did enjoy, but it was getting to the point where I was just spending all my time gathering herbs so that I could work on professions, or alchemy in particular. Cooking was kind of fun, but it seems like the ingredients and even the recipes were a little bit lackluster as time went on. Like half the stuff you needed to buy. I don't know if that used to be the case, But, yeah. Speaking of buying stuff, gold kind of lost any kind of meaning or value. I mean, I guess I didn't buy anything super expensive, but I mean, 5 gold for 1 ingredient. It seemed a bit excessive. It's probably because there's so much gold in the game. They needed some kind of gold sinks. But, yeah, I mean, I had enough gold that I could buy all that stuff that I wanted. But at the same time, I didn't know how much I needed to save for later stuff, if I even needed to buy stuff later. That also brings me to the areas, I guess. We spent a lot of time in Zuldazar, the Battle for Azeroth leveling content. And yeah, we had those portals there. Didn't quite understand them at first, and then when I tried one, I got stuck in Thunderbluff. And most of that wasn't very intuitive. Not to mention, there was no portal back out of Thunderbluff. I had to get to Orgrimmar for that. And maybe there's some quest chain that people have unlocked ages ago to open up portals in Thunderbluff. Or maybe there just are no portals in Thunderbluff. I don't know. But, that's one of the things about the areas that I kind of missed, was how big the map used to be. Battle for Azeroth had a couple zones, but I didn't feel the need to really go back and forth between the zones. Like, it was, okay, go complete this zone, done. I remember back when I first played in Vanilla, I felt like, you know, going back and forth places through zones was quite a bit more fun. Not to mention the level scaling in Battle for Azeroth. I know I've already touched on that in one of my, I think that was a mid-series review, episode 50. I understand why they did it. You know, have stuff level with you so that you always had something worth getting experience, up until 60 at least. And then beyond that was Dragonflight. But, it's an interesting mechanic, but I didn't think it was super fun. And then when we got to the Dragon Isles, the level scaling stopped, which was good. But, just that gap from 60 to 70, you know, everything's kind of within your range anyway. Yeah, you know, I was getting to the point where the 65 and lowers, you know, well, once I hit 70, I didn't need experience anymore, so that didn't matter, but yeah, the 65 and lowers were less prone to attack me. Didn't go down much easier, though. Part of that was probably because we didn't have the gear yet. But, yeah. And then the Dragon Isles was another area where the zones kind of didn't mean much. It was just following the campaign. Like, I never had a reason to go backwards. And we never found, I guess, the main city. Anything that had auction house, anything that had, well, no, we didn't even find the bank in the Dragon Isles. So we're definitely missing content. There's probably, once we got to the end of the campaign, that stuff opened up. But all in all, I mean, if I'm not having fun, I'm not going to force myself to do it. I'm sure you guys could tell when I'm just kind of slogging through, and that's not really enjoyable for anybody. So I'm going to call it quits here. They could definitely improve on explaining things a little bit better for newer players. Heading back to the professions, which I enjoyed, it took me a while to figure out that when I was in Zandalar, I was doing the Zandalari alchemy and cooking and all that. And then when I moved over to the Dragon Isles, it became Dragon Isles alchemy and cooking. But we never actually did base game alchemy, base game cooking, or even fishing for that matter. Fishing seemed odd. It seemed like you could always fish up wherever you were. I don't remember that being the case, but I could be wrong. Like, I remember there's spots that were too difficult to fish, so you actually had a reason to raise your fishing skill. This time it just was like, oh, feel like raising your fishing skill? Well, go fish here until it's maxed or whatever. From the beginning, yeah. Wasn't a big fan of that. Would have been nice if the dungeons felt better. I probably would have stuck around longer, because I could go through the slog to get to endgame dungeons and raids, which feels like the whole point, or PvP, depending on your preferences. Some people prefer the dungeons and the raiding. Some people prefer the PvP. I hear the PvP is even worse. So I decided to focus on the dungeon stuff. And yeah, I just wasn't enjoying that. So I think I will call it quits. Probably cancel my subscription and all that, save some money. And the plans for the future are actually going to be Final Fantasy XIV. I know that's a big competitor to World of Warcraft, so I figure let's give that one a shot. See what it does different, what it does better, what it does worse. So I guess I'm not really saving the subscription money, I'm just shifting it over. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I know watching a noob play World of Warcraft probably wasn't in everybody's wheelhouse. But, I don't know, maybe watching me struggle a bit was kind of entertaining for somebody. And I hope you all enjoy playing World of Warcraft. And I also hope you'll enjoy watching me play Final Fantasy XIV. With that, have a great night, and take care.